Welcome to Women Together. My name is Antoinette, and I am so glad to be hosting us today. A warm welcome to all who are on Zoom here. I'm just opening up the gallery view, and a warm welcome to all on YouTube and to all who may be joining us for the first time. A warm welcome to you. And if you have been joining us week after week, a warm welcome to you as well. It's good to be all together again, and I love seeing all of the little faces pop up when we go on video. So wonderful. We are gathering together each week to just reconnect with our own internal space and with each other, and really just to remind ourselves that we're more resilient than we probably think we are. Today is about releasing tension, so we'll dive into that topic together as a community of practice. We'll have a few more teachers coming up in the coming weeks joining us. But today it's just us, and we are going to dive in with a practice and connection with each other, and then we'll open up to a larger group dialogue at the end. So for now, you can say a little hello in the chat, share where you're coming from, and anything that you want us to know about your place today. Sometimes we go with the weather, and in a way that allows us to just land on Earth together, land in this place and space, and just reconnect with each other from a place of being on Earth together, even though we're in this little Zoom room. So wonderful. And today I am calling in from Amsterdam, but my normal place is in New York. So I'm holding both of these places today. And let's see, we've got Nyack, New York, Boston, Winchester, Mass, Ossining, Ohio, Manhattan, the day after Halloween. Oh, wow. We're in Manhattan, Bloomfield, Connecticut, Long Island, LA, Switzerland, Columbus, Ohio, Lenny Lenape Land, South Jersey, Briarcliff Manor, New York. So a warm welcome to all of the places that we're each holding and connected to. So perhaps to land in this place and space, we just do a little tiny practice of being in our bodies. if that could just be the tiny practice, being in our bodies, and we'll just focus in on the breath. I love how the entire Zoom room, everybody just kind of got upright a little bit. So isn't that fun? So we'll just connect into the feet on the floor. So if you can get your feet on the ground, just feel a sense of connection to the points of the feet on the floor, perhaps connected to the earth somehow, just feeling gravity for a minute. Just following the breath into the feet. Just noticing the quality of the breath today. Not trying to shift or change it, but maybe just being aware of it. And as you feel a sense of grounding, perhaps also feel a sense of uplift in the spine. So as you exhale, on the next exhale, just feel the breath moving up from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head, and just feel a sense of uplift. Just connecting to the place just above the head, the place that we call sky. Perhaps inviting in possibility. A sense of openness. When you're ready, returning your connection to the screen, and we'll do a little welcome first. So just as you welcome and land here, we're gonna, if you're on Zoom, connect to the gallery. So the top right corner where it says view, you can click on gallery. And if you're able to get on video, now's the time. Just make that little connection. And I'd like to invite us to just pick a few boxes on the Zoom screen and just send a warm welcome. A warm, warm welcome. So we just found this connection again to the inner space. And then as we do that and land here, we also welcome in these wonderful women who are here with us. So just connecting in. And as you do that, allowing yourself to be seen, seeing these other beautiful faces, and then allowing yourself to be felt as we come in here. There's often just a little bit of a deepening. I don't know if how many of us have had this experience of being seen, like truly seen for our gifts, for our flaws, for all of those things. And just for this moment, we may not know each other super well. Some of us may have gotten to know each other over the weeks and months, but just allowing ourselves to see and be seen, to feel and be felt. And then if you had an intention for today, something that you really hope happens, this is what brought you here. So either what brought you here today or what you're hoping to have happen today, just tuning into that for a moment. What do you hope to have happen or what brought you here today? And then you can type that in the chat. Just a little note for us, and I'll read a few of them out. To calm down, Marisa, Genevieve connection, to center myself for the day, wanting release in my shoulders, support the warm energy of connection, staying curious, to have something to go to. Any help on releasing tension is most welcome. Connection. My weekly dose of serenity to get ready for the day. Let life come to me instead of always leaning forward. Gabrielle, wonderful. To refocus my attention on the intention of self-care. Step 1 is being here now. Managing pain post-dental surgery. So we're sending you a lot of love, Deborah. Compassionate connection with authentic women. Wonderful. Being open to connecting with others. I love this piece that Gabrielle shared. So I'll maybe just say a few words and then we'll do a little practice. And as we dive into this, I love what Gabrielle said, let life come to me. Let life come to me instead of always leaning forward. And I find that to be super powerful because I think that for me that just deeply resonates with what I was thinking about in the idea of releasing tension, because I don't think it's just about saying tension doesn't exist or we're not like allowing for tension in our lives. I actually think that tension can point to something where we're growing, or tension can, if you have a tightrope or something, that can create a whole new foundation for something. The tension, when we can see it and we can be aware of it, it can actually help us to be aware of maybe different polarities in the system or something that's going on. So if we look at a kind of larger view of the tension, then tension isn't necessarily bad, but it can be uncomfortable. So when I'm in tension with something, it can be quite uncomfortable and I can feel a bit rocked in my system, like a bit of a anxiety, or it's a lot of things. Or if I'm with somebody else and we're kind of going like this, then it's sort of we can get locked in this tension. And for a lot of people and communities, it can lead to hypertension. So it can go, inside the body and it can take over. So I'm not saying that tension is great, but I think there is a kind of healthy way to experience tension. And what I love about this idea of let life come to me instead of always leaning forward is that tension is embodied. So when I'm engaged in a conversation with somebody and I'm here, and I can feel my legs shift so that I'm almost in like a running stance, like I'm ready to go, my arms are ready to go, I'm almost ready to fight. I have this experience with tension that is like my whole body is leaning in, that when I can release that grip, if I can release that grip, then I can allow what's wanting to come through, I can allow what's wanting to show up, and I can see it in a different way. So I think it's about exactly what Gabrielle shared, letting life come to me instead of always leaning forward, or instead of always pushing, that sometimes allowing myself to be pulled, allowing myself to move in the flow of a river. Or I've been feeling recently that there are so many pressures, there's so many pressures of gravity, time, age, all of these things that are already happening, that we're already in the flow of, that if we can just allow ourselves to relax into it, then something that we may have perceived to be a tension before is something that we're just allowing ourselves to be in the flow of. So maybe the thing that we're really looking at is between tension and flow. When we release tension, how can we be more in flow? So the last little piece that I just wanted to think about for a moment with all of you is this piece around allowing ourselves to release tension. Kind of what does that actually take? So what does that take in the body? What does that take in our heart? What does it take in our mind to release tension? So I thought we would do just a little practice, maybe before I keep talking. And we've done something like this before. So perhaps just feeling it in the body will help us consider what does it take. So what I'd like to do is just do a little like body squeezing. So you can take both hands, you could stand up if you want. You can just squeeze the hands together. You can squeeze the eyes shut. You can squeeze the nose and the lips and the cheeks, and squeeze the shoulders, and squeeze your legs together, and squeeze. And just notice for a moment. Just notice, are you breathing? Just notice what's happening. What's happening here? Feel into that. What does that feeling feel like? And then if the body were to tell you something, if the body doesn't want to stay in this, that's the reality. The body doesn't want to stay in this stuckness or in this position. So something is going to release, and just notice what releases first. If you just let go slightly. Just notice what's releasing first, what starts first. When does the breath start to come in? And if you just take a moment to breathe into that. And then really consciously kind of release it all out. So maybe that starts a little bit of shaking the arm and shaking the hands, shaking the shoulders, shaking the arms, shaking out the jaw. You can make a sound, no one can hear you. Just a little feeling where the kinks are, feeling where it like in the back of the neck or wherever it is, just maybe shaking out the feet, shaking out the ankles and the knees, just getting it all, just letting it all go out. And one of the things that I like to think about with this is letting it all go to the floor. This Earth Mother, she can handle it. She can handle it. We don't need to hold it in here. She can handle it. So when we have that feeling, and I even feel it in my muscles right now, just that little tension and the little release, I can now feel my muscles just actually letting go. So just actually letting it go. This Earth Mother can handle it. I mean, she can do tornadoes, she can do hurricanes, she can do like, some of the craziest stuff. So our little tension thing, we can give it to the earth. And so just being with that and just noticing, where is the tension in my body now? Where is it releasing? Where did the movement begin for me to be able to release this? And if you'd like, you can do it one more time. So just feeling like conscious holding of tension in the body. So it might even be, we've done the stuck activity in this group before, but if you haven't done it before, you could actually think about a time or a place in your life where you feel a sense of being stuck. So it could be that you feel pulled in opposite directions, that's sort of a tension, or it could feel like you're being pushed, maybe somebody's pushing you down and somebody else is pushing, whatever it is, there's something happening for you. And if you just allow your body to be in that position fully, whatever that stuck position is, maybe it's in the head or it's in the, just noticing what the feeling is and allowing yourself to maybe exaggerate that feeling a little bit more. Exaggerate it and just noticing, is there any breath? Just noticing what this body feels like, what this position feels like. And then if you had a word or a phrase for that, you could say it to yourself right now. So my word or phrase for this position, holding it in. It's just noticing what your phrase is. And then following the body doesn't want to stay stuck. So just following the body to a new position. So not the brain telling the body, but just following the body to a new position. And when you find a second position, maybe there's a little more flow or ease. And just feeling if there's a word or phrase in this position, letting go. So just noticing the word or phrase. And then if you'd like, you can just take a moment and jot down in a journal or a journal or a piece of paper and a pen. You can just jot down what comes up for you. Where are you currently feeling tension in your life? So the first question, I'll give you maybe 3 questions and then we'll turn to each other to share a little bit. And if you're on YouTube, you can just write them down for yourself. Where are you currently feeling tension in your life? And if that tension could speak to you, if it could say something, if you could kind of give yourself a view of either having a conversation with it or, kind of being above it, what would it say to you right now? So you can just write that down in your little journal. What would that tension say to you right now? Next question. If one element in that tension wanted to release, where would that letting go? Where would the letting go begin? So in that tension, maybe you saw it in the body. So there was a here moment. For me, it actually started in the back, in my shoulders. So just noticing if one element wanted to release in the tension that you're thinking about or feeling into, where would the letting go begin? So hopefully you have a couple of thoughts written down at this point. And if not, that's okay too. You can just share a little bit about where the movement began for you. And this part of our dialogue, our way of connecting, is really turning to each other and sharing what's coming up for us, practicing deep listening with each other or generous listening, practicing really just being vulnerable with each other. So we don't know what the other person had for breakfast, let alone anything else that has been happening in their day, week, life. So just really approaching each other from a space of wanting to hear what's coming up and holding space. We'll have 20 minutes. We have a healthy time together, and then we'll come back and have a little bit more group dialogue in the Zoom. So if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you continue to reflect, and we'll see you next week. And for those of us here in the main room in Zoom, we will turn to each other and share what came up for us in either the body practice or the journaling practice. You can start with your name and where you're coming from, and then share a little bit, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes. See you on the other side. Enjoy.